and welcome back to another episode of Cupid's Corner. It's your favorite love doctor, Miss Kupid, here with another episode. And today we are super excited because we have a lot of very special guests with us today. We have married and engaged couples here to talk to you all about marriage, being engaged, love, and relationships. So without further ado, I would like to go ahead and introduce my co-host here today, who has been married
for 5 years.
5 years.
Jashawn, that's it. Keep it short.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm Emmanuel.
Yeah, I'm Jasmine.
Okay, how long y'all been married?
For about 10 months.
10 months.
Yeah, 10
So
months.
1 year.
So a year in May.
Yeah, here in May. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm Khamel.
Aisha. And engaged.
We got engaged in August on my birthday.
Okay, and she got a countdown, so.
Right. We are getting married in 104 days.
104 days.
All right. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. But first, everybody, let's take a sit. Let's get loose. Let's go ahead so we can get into it.
All right.
Okay. So I just want to know, so the people can know, where did you guys meet? Let's hear the story. Let's start. Yeah. Let's start. Come on. I want to hear this.
It's two different stories.
Tell your version, brother. Tell your version.
We met at work.
Okay.
We was working at PetSmart.
Okay.
We was there for like 4 or 5 years. You know.
His friend zone.
That's where the line starts.
This is where
That's where the line starts.
Okay.
I never made any moves.
Okay.
I never like tried to do too much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I just played it cool. You know, and when I was done doing what I was doing, I came home. You know, she said I'm moving back home.
Yeah.
You know, rent was too high.
Yeah.
Sound like me.
Yeah.
Gotta go back home to the parents,
That's a fact.
and that's pretty much where it started.
Okay.
We moved back home. I made my move.
Okay.
If she never said I'm coming back home, she's too far. She
I
was
went
in
to
Canada.
Kennesaw State.
She was way too far.
I
I
know.
wasn't allowed to do all
So
that.
now tell your version. Let me hear your version.
We met at PetSmart
Uh-huh.
in like 2014, and from the beginning, he thought it was cute, so he was
Oh.
trying to talk to me.
That's a fact. I can see that happening. I can see that happening.
him. He would like try to text me, and I was like, not really feeling you.
Okay.
And then when I came back from Kennesaw, our first date was at IHOP, and then from there we kind of just came together. Yeah.
So let me ask you, why you friend zone knowing that you was attracted to him?
So I wasn't low key, but and then basically because he would tell me the things that he would go through with other girls. So then that made me be like, oh nah, you probably not for me,
Okay,
you know.
I see.
And so
Okay, what is the question? What is friend zone? I never asked her for a date. I never asked her to hang out. I never asked her anything.
But you
We
asked to
was
FaceTime me, and you wanted
And
to
what
text
did you
me
do?
every
You
day. I
FaceTime
don't
me?
text my friends every single day.
That's a fact. I don't believe men and women can be friends.
Okay.
I don't think like
Yeah.
look,
I
I don't think like if I'm FaceTime you, it's for a reason. If I'm talking to you, it's for a reason. I'm not saying I want something from you. I don't want something. I just don't think y'all can be friends. Y'all can be cool. Y'all can be cordial, but I don't think it could be like a.
Yeah, like that's my best friend.
Exactly. I don't think that's
Hey, wait a minute, but I have some male friends.
All right, so you text your male friend, yo.
They're like
What you-
brothers.
I bet.
I've never even seen them in that way.
That's what I'm saying. For you.
For you, yeah. Do they look at you like
You.
Of
Like a
course
sister?
not. We have been knowing each other since we were in diapers.
Okay, Kristen, you can have your opinion, but
No, I'm
Yeah.
just here to listen.
yeah. Y'all story. What's y'all story?
We met on social media.
Social media. Okay.
She slid in the DM.
She slid in the DM.
Oh, she
Let's keep it real. Let's keep it
You
real.
say hey. You saying hey, right?
Were you not in
She
the
stuck to
DM?
the
Yes or no?
Say hey.
Did you say
You
hey?
sent a GIF,
Okay, but
and so I said, hey.
Okay,
I
all right.
don't think
So you know, we talked on social media for a minute before I got her number, but then I think before we set up a date, it just happened that Valentine's Day was coming up, and I sent some flowers to her school. So she came up to they called her down to the office, and then she had the flowers at the she had the flowers waiting on her at school, and I was like, and then we went on a date after that, right after that to the botanical gardens.
Okay.
I love flowers, so that was a big thing that stood out to me. So when he was like, "Oh, I got a surprise date," I'm like, "Okay, this man's he's gonna take me out.
Yeah.
What is he gonna do?" And then he said, "Just meet me at the address." I thought he was a killer, but it ended up being there, and it was a really good time. We were able to just talk literally the whole time.
When was this? Well, how long have you been here?
Last 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Then y'all got engaged.
February 17th was our first date.
Oh, that's good.
So your story isn't too different from his.
No,
No, it's not too different.
The first part, but everything else, yes.
Cool. So how did you get to the point where you wanted to get married or propose to your wife? Like what stages did you have to go through as a man, and then to say, I'm willing to make this my wife, you know, the only person that I want to be with?
Really, she did a great job of sticking out from what I was used to.
Okay.
I used to date like in high school and college. Like she did a great job of just sticking out. You know, it's like I kind of use the analogy with sports. Like there's a lot of good players, but there's only a few difference makers.
Yeah.
And that's how she was.
Okay.
You know, I remember when I was playing basketball in college, like for me, I did not like to talk about, you know, anything bad that was going on in my life. You know, I was really reserved. And she would just be like, look, you gotta talk, you have to communicate. And, you know, I kind of respected that. It'll get on my nerves in the moment.
Yeah.
But I ended up respecting it because, like, you're right, I can't have all this anger built up, sadness, depression, whatever, and then I lash out at her or I lash out at somebody else.
Right.
And that was kind of like the main thing that set her different, because other people would be like, okay, I'll just give him his time, just do this, do that.
Yeah, I wasn't having it.
Yeah, she wasn't having it at all, and
Right.
I greatly appreciate it because now I'm more like sentimental.
Yeah.
You know, years later,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that because you know I can cry, I can
Yeah.
you know express my emotions,
Absolutely.
and I really needed that
That's huge.
because sometimes if you don't grow up like that,
Yeah.
you're gonna be angry.
So
all
do
the
you,
time.
do you think you were looking for things that you didn't possess inside yourself, so you were looking at and for that in your spouse?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause I'm the same way. Cause like emotions, like my wife cry for anything. Like,
Yeah.
she'll watch a movie, she'll cry. So for me, I was looking for a lot of things that I didn't possess in myself.
So
If I didn't have it, my daughters or my kids will have that energy
Yeah.
because I know I'm stagnant in that space. So I was looking for somebody that was opposite of.
yeah.
Because we'd have just been like this if we were anything similar.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I'm asking that question.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Okay.
No, I agree.
So for you, did you always want to be a wife or get married? Did you aspire to be that?
When I was younger, yeah, I always wanted to be married. I come from like a divorced home, and I'm an only child. So like I kind of just watched my mom and my dad, and then also other kids who did have married parents. I always thought that was like super cool, like being young.
Yeah.
And but I did always wanted to become, like, not my only goal to become a wife, but definitely wanted to be married. I did aspire to be that.
That's awesome. And y'all have twins?
Yeah, twin boys.
Okay, so and how has that, I guess, changed the dynamic? And do you believe it changed it?
Yes, definitely. Like for us, I guess when it came to them being, well, first newborn, they were born in October, so it was a lot that I didn't really see. Like he's the most patient person ever that I've ever met in my life. But when it came to the baby, it was kind of like he's needing his sleep, I'm needing my sleep, and so we kind of like I would say we butt heads a little bit, and that was kind of like a little. That's probably like our first tribulation, you could say, where we really were like, whoa, this is new for us, you know. And then also having time for us and not just being parents, you know. So it was a lot when they
Preaching
first
gospel.
yeah.
Preaching gospel. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for y'all,
Yeah.
did you want to be a husband, and what made you want to propose to your lady?
Ours was a little kind of, it kind of was like meant to happen. So like we started dating. Like you said, our first date was February 17th. So after that, we started, just talking a lot more and going on we try to push to go on another more dates, and she already had her son. So when I think what was it, March 7th, or like I think March 7th, yeah, March 7th. My school, we had this Legoland things from, and she wasn't sure if she wanted me to meet her son yet. So I was like, okay, well, here, you take your son Legoland. When you're ready for me to meet him, whatever. And then she was just like, come on.
Yeah.
And so we went and we had a great time. And then March 13th, like we were just or whatever. Yeah, March 13th. Shut down. So now I'm over there all the time, like to the point where it's like now I'm staying, like I'm there all the time. So it was like it's kind of like because we're like here and like we're confined. It's like you kind of get to know a lot more of a person. You're seeing them every single day, really with no break almost. Because even when we're both teachers. But even like when the quarantine first hit, like the teacher schedules were like all over the place. They weren't like a simple 8 to. So it was like we had a lot more time. It was like, all right, so what do we do now? What you doing? So we feed into each other's personalities. We were seeing how we are day to day, and everything is just coming out. So it's not like you're pulling it out. It's just you there. Yeah, you're there. So at a certain point, like, and then we went into the summer and we teachers, like I said, so we ain't got nothing to do. So we're at that point, it's kind of like, it's like, you know what, like, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this ring, and this is what I want to keep going, because I saw the dynamic and it wasn't changing. And like even like it really wasn't any surprises, because like the surprise we talked, and then of course it wasn't like just perfect all the way, just rainbows the whole time. But at the same time we was able to communicate, talk through stuff. We realized where we wanted to be. We talked what our goals were, and it was just uphill from there. So I knew this was what I wanted.
And so for you, did you aspire? Did you want to be a wife? Do you care about that, or like how did you approach this whole situation?
Well, my parents have been married for 27 years. 28 years. And so that's all I've seen. I mean, I've seen the good and the bad between them. So I'm like, I know no relationship is perfect. So if you want it, you gotta work for it. So I always did want to be a wife and have a family dynamic, because that's all I was used to. It's not like it was the main thing on my goal list, but it is something that I really wanted. And then when I had my son, and then being a single parent, it was like, dang, I don't want to raise him in a house. It's just me and him. So eventually I said, that's why I was hesitant to let him meet my son. I'm like, I don't want to bring him around somebody that's temporary. So
how did you get to that decision where you were like, you know what, I'm gonna let him meet my son?
It just felt different. Like literally, like from the time we met, everything just seemed to flow. And my son is very blunt, so he don't go good or very bad. So when he met him, he clung to him. Like at first it was kind of like, you're too close to my mommy. He was like, who is this? But then he wanted him to play with him. He wanted him to follow him around at the Legoland. So I was like, okay, this is good. And when he told him that he was leaving, when my son was like, no, where are you going? Are you coming back? I'm like, oh, okay, this might be something I can keep going. And from there, like I said, he never left after March 13th.
So how do you feel, because this will be like pretty much your first child, like in a way. So how are you preparing for that?
He kind of preparing me. He definitely puts me through the ringer when it comes to just knowing like what to do. Because even at the beginning, even she's like eventually when she started, okay, I'm going to the grocery store, I'm going to get my son, it'll just be me and him in the house. Right. He's chill with me. He kind of get hyped when she get back home. Right. But he's chill with me. But then at the same time, he's like, mommy do it this way. Nan and Papa, they do it this way. So, so he kind of, even when I first did his car seat for the first time, he was trying to walk me through it. He was like, you gotta do it. I was like, I got you. So I was like, appreciate it.
I'm strapped in.
Yeah. So but now we've gotten to the point where, cause I take him to school in the morning, so now we got to the point we got our little routine.
Yeah.
You know, he eats breakfast. You know, we got our little boom, 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 and now he telling her this how Mel do it. So, so now it done switched up. So
that's awesome.
So yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
So I want to hear from both of you all, like, just pretty much the difference between when you all first started dating versus now to marriage and engaged life. Like, what has been some major differences that you all have noticed from then until now?
That's a good question.
I mean, we kind of like them. Like when we first started talking for real, like we just vibe like real.
After you got out of friend zone.
Yeah, we just vibe real good. It was just like I already seen it from the beginning. Like this, like she's real like wifey material for real.
Okay.
And I like appreciate everything she did, and she still does. You know, all that stuff now.
Right.
So it really ain't, for me, nothing really changed but the titles. You know, from fiance to wife, like, you are the same as that person. Yeah.
I feel like we've grown as a couple. I don't think there's any like major changes.
Yeah.
But I think we've changed individually. Like we've helped each other like emotionally and mentally grow as an individual.
Okay.
But as a couple, you know, everything has kind of been the same from like girlfriend to fiance to you know, husband and wife. But I think it's just the title really, and it really in like development. I think that's what it is. And I guess I'm trying to think of an example of like how, you know, we've helped each other, each other's confidence. You know, we've helped each other like, you know, keep going when we want to give up. You know, just kind of like balance each other out. I think, you know what I'm saying. So I think that's pretty much the main difference.
Did y'all live with each other prior to marriage?
Yes.
Prior to marriage,
Yeah, we got engaged. I was like, look, if we gotta at least be engaged. Like, at least let me know you're trying to like move forward after, you know. But we got engaged in 2018, and then we lived together for like 3 or 4 months. And then 2019 we moved together in an apartment.
How was that? Because I heard like living with
It changes. It's a different dynamic. That's something accident. Because I think if you don't see how that person lives, then that's a whole nother side you may not see in that courting stage.
Right.
So tell me, absolutely.
And it's like I'm like the opposite, because it's like I've always said, like from jump, I was like, I'm not gonna live with my significant other until we get married. Yes. Until you know, like the offer was put on the table, like you know, nah, like I want to live with you before we get married, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that, but it's like I get it, like you have to see how that person. And I'm like, dang, being around you, like if I spend the night over there, like a week,
it's not the same.
I want to hear like, please let me know something.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like I had to get out the house, you know, because like, I graduated in 19, and I was just ready to get out the house. You know, I've been there for so long.
Yeah.
You know, my parents get on my nerves. No, I love my parents, but
all parents get on your nerves. That's a whole fact.
I was like, man, I gotta go. So it was just, and she had graduated at 17. We just felt like, look, it's time to, you know, we need to move together. You know,
consolidate these funds. You know, you got an apartment.
Come together. You know, and nothing really changed when we moved in. You know, I had to clean more.
I feel like that's where the most thing that we dealt with was like, not that he didn't clean at home. Like he would pay his sister to clean his room. So like I'm like, listen, we not doing that today. And I'm not gonna clean the whole house, and you're not gonna not do it. So like even now we still work on, you know, cleaning and like this is your task, this is my task, or you know, you get, but what I've learned is like it's a lot of compromise, and I think it is best to move in before you get married with somebody, just because you really get to know that person. What they wake up like, are they waking up happy? Are they waking up angry? Like, are they putting on a facade? You know, facade? Like, is it real? You know, and how do they live? Are they like gonna clean the toilet once a month, or you know? And will they come home? Like we had an issue where I was like, look, you know, we're together. You can't come home at 11, 12 o'clock. Like we're together in a relationship, you know. So just a lot of things where you have to. It's
level setting. It's a level setting. You level set what your expectations are, what his expectations is. Okay. So when y'all started cooking, how did that cleaning obviously was a conversation. What was the cooking space like? I mean. Be honest. to be honest.
I mean, I was really ordering out a lot.
Nah,
Because like again, I didn't really cook and clean at home,
either.
so I was like, look,
Yeah.
I make a little money. Bring it home.
That's a
But,
fact.
you know, I try to cook a little bit more
Yeah.
now. You know,
Because you got kids.
Well, not really. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I think it was just like for food, like for me, because even for me, to be honest with y'all, I'm still learning how to cook. So he'd be like, you know, what we gonna eat? And I'd be like, dang, I don't know. So then it get to the point where we just like, all right, let's just order out, like whatever. Then when like quarantine happened and, you know, we were kind of like, all right, we kind of have to cook. And then I was pregnant. It was just, it ended up being like compromised, but I wasn't about to cook every Monday through Friday, like that wasn't happening, like, cause our meal would be done in 2 days. I'm like, how do people do that, like consistently cooking every day, and then still living your life, still having kids, like it's a lot.
I mean, and that's the thing I don't think is really talked about, like the responsibilities that's on a woman, like it's a lot of work, it's a lot, like I look at my wife and like, I don't know how you do it on a day to day, but you do it, so I love you like this, cause I don't cook. But I try to clean up. Like, I'm gonna straighten up. But it's just like it's a lot, and I don't think a lot of women understand the work that is put in to be a wife, to be a mom, to be all of those things, and it's a lot. And it's like sometimes you can go crazy, so you gotta kind of like be on one accord with your spouse and be like, all right, cool. I see you overworked in this area, so let's order out. Let's order takeout. Cool. If you want to do takeout 2 times a week and you only cook 3 times a week, let's just do that so it's less stress, because that stress has been put on the family, the kids, and stuff like that. So absolutely.
Yeah.
So y'all live together?
Yes.
Yeah.
How has that experience been going?
It's been good, but I was used to living by myself prior to, so it was different actually having a man kind of live with me.
Changes.
It definitely changed things, even like when it was me and my son, it still changed the dynamic of having a man live in the house with you. You know, the toilet, just
That's a fact.
shoes,
That's a whole fact.
places. You know, just a few things that to mention. But we're different when it comes to cleaning. He likes organized chaos, but I like organized things. So when
underneath the pants, underneath the clothes, right there.
that is him. But we share, I guess, the responsibilities for the most part. You know, he didn't learn how to really cook until me, but you know, it's a learning task.
Right.
He knows I don't cook on Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
So
See, look, everybody got their own
I do
little
not
thing.
cook on Friday and Saturday. He was a bit surprised when he asked me one day, "What are we eating?" It was Friday. I said, "I cook on Friday and Saturday."
Right. So for you, how was it moving?
For me, it was, I mean, like she said, I got the organized chaos thing going. So like I'll have like, cause I'm a photographer too, so I'll have like,
You're creative.
I have like my camera over there with some jump drives over there, and then when she straightened up, like she straightened up. So then I come into the living room and I'm like, hold on, wait, where the jump drive that I had on the couch? She'd be like, it's over in there, and I'll go look, and I'll be like, it's not there, and she'd be like, but did you look over? So that was new. That I had to like go back to understanding. You know, let me just put my stuff up so I know where it is. And then also the cooking thing. We binge watched Master Chef. So I was jumping in the kitchen trying stuff. So it wasn't, I mean. Yeah, so I wouldn't just learn how to cook. I mean, I kind of knew. I watched my dad cook growing up, so I kind of knew a little something. Yeah. But I tried to cook with a cast iron skillet one time, and the heat was too high, and the oil burned.
I almost burned the house down.
The oil burned. It was a light flame. But I put it out, so it was.
I think that was the most mad I've ever been at him, because
she was mad. Like she ate dinner mad. It was good though, but she didn't talk the rest of it.
Right.
I'm like, dang.
I made a mistake.
I still cooked though. It was salmon that day. It was salmon.
Prior to marriage, did y'all speak about finances, debt, and what that would look like, and how that will impact the marriage? Because the number one reason why a lot of people divorce is because of finances. So did y'all have that conversation before?
Yeah.
Yes.
We really
He said, did we?
We really didn't talk about
well, we knew what each other owed, but we was just like, we just in it and we just gonna hope for the best. Like, I guess it was just not a major issue, but we did talk about finances as far as like, I'm really big on savings. So I'm like, you know, we don't get lump sums and just go blow it on TVs and stuff like that. We get lump sums and we put it to the side unless we need to pay for a car. So I definitely wanted to make sure that we had good money management skills before we move forward.
You'll say you had that or he had that?
I had that.
You had that.
I didn't have nothing. I get that college refund, I'll go blow it. Go treat it all, get some shoes, clothes.
Okay. So with your money management and your leadership in that space, how did that go?
Yeah, I feel like it helped us a lot because I didn't want to be like in a relationship and then you like, dang, I didn't want you, first of all, to need anything and I didn't want anything from you, but basically to know that you know how to manage so that if for a rainy day, if something happens to your car, my car, or like a bill, we have it to the side.
Can I ask another question, personal question? Did you come from not having before?
No.
Okay.
So my mom, she was very major on saving, so that's how I learned how to save.
Yeah, so and that's what I'm saying, like coming from that space of like not wanting to be like in a desperation space where I'm gonna save this before I need it type situation.
Yeah, so like my mom and my dad, they were like opposite. So like my mom, she's super saved, and my dad, he's a risk taker. He like, let's blow this money, let's live our life, I'll get some more money again, you know? So seeing both of those, I was like, I think I'm gonna take the route that, I love my dad, but I'm gonna take the route. So like with my mom, I just basically was like, okay, I like how she was able to put so much down, or like when we moved to our apartment, because of our saving, we was able to just straight pay out for our couch, or we were just able, we didn't have to put credit on anything, and that's what I always wanted to do, so. I had to teach him that, and then he was like.
So that's a ministry in the making sure like everything is saved and y'all got money for like a rainy day and stuff like that. Because I don't think people have those conversations like, do you have like 3 to 6 months saved? All right, cool. You got that. Now, do you save 15% of your check because you know you're gonna want to just in case. You know, it's just like those conversations. Because my wife is a spender, not a saver. Like, my wife, she comes from a 2-family household, ain't really never struggled like that. I'm like, I lived in the projects. I ain't going. So we going. So whatever. So that was a constant fight in the crib. Like, no, like before you pay other people, we need to pay ourselves. You know, we need to have 3 to 6 months saved up before. And then it was just like she had $100,000 in student loan debt. I'm like,
That's on you.
Exactly. But that wasn't a conversation that it was like, yo, she cute. She'll be a great mom. She's a good cook. She's kind of like, you know, everything that I wanted, and you know. But it's just like that was also a part of it too, like the debt. And now we gotta strategically figure that out in that whole space.
Right.
So how did y'all navigate y'all finances, or how are y'all navigating y'all finances in the house with everything that y'all have together?
Well, she told me up front what she had in student loans.
Yes. Now how did you take it?
You know, I mean, it's a lot. But I understood her being a teacher, and she's very ambitious in her goals, and she let me know her goals too. So I understood how she accrued. So it wasn't just like, oh, I got nothing to show for it. So she has a master's, and and she's going back to get her doctorate. I have 50,000.
Keep it low.
So in student loans, but I just happen to be blessed for that my master's program, the school is paying that I work at is paying for my master's program. So I could have easily, if I wanted to get a master's, easily accrue maybe $30,000, $40,000 more on top of that. So I could be where she's at. So she told me, but we talked. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I mean, student loan debt. I mean, not really. I don't think they're really like looking at it. You know? But then at the same time, I let her know what we talked about our credit card debt, and even in marriage, and even with our marriage counseling, we constantly discussing our finances as well, to see where we can hit stuff, and like I'm a sneakerhead.
Yeah. So she's who's the saver, who's the spender? She's
I'm the spender. Okay. First off, it's an investment. You know what I'm saying? So what I started doing was you know, I started, you know, showing her the picture, the shoe.
Yeah.
And, you
That's
know,
how you get her.
and then, you know, based on her reaction, I'm like, either tell me no, or tell me, let me know it's good, it's all good.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's been a couple of shoes, you be like, go ahead.
Yeah.
You show the picture in the price.
Huh?
You show the picture in.
You gotta show the picture first.
First.
You can't show the price and the picture. The price takes away from the picture. So you gotta show the picture first. So I show the picture first, let's see, get her investing. And then I show the price, go, okay, well, it's $250.
Yeah. What we doing
But she's definitely the saver. You know, she talks about every time we get a certain amount, well, what you put in the savings, or what you put towards your credit cards, or I'm doing this for my credit cards. What you doing?
That was a question this morning.
She asked me this morning, like, oh, you got your stimmy, oh, what you putting on there? So, did you put it on her? So she definitely keeps me focused on making sure eventually that's really our 5-year goal that we become debt free. So that is definitely I gotta give her that.
Okay. So as the saver, how hard is it to kind of like convince him or just even like lead in that space?
Well, he's getting better. When we first started dating, I would see him on the Nike app, and I'm like, "What you doing?
Right.
What you doing?" And then, especially when we got engaged, I'm like, "You talking about a wedding? But you still on this Nike app with shoes sitting in the car? What are you doing?"
It's in my favorites.
Not in the car. So he's gotten better. It's not like I'll allow him because it's his money, but now with us living together, he just go ahead and send me the bill money and everything ahead of time. So I tell him, what you do with your money, go ahead. As long as that bill money and everything's paid, it's free game from there. But I never wanted to be in a place where I needed somebody for something, which is why I continued with the schooling. I incurred the debt that I do have. Just so I wanted to be in a better position. That's why with this doctor, I'm not really worried about the loans because my pay will eventually be able to match what I need. And you stay in certain programs, they'll pay for it. I have a whole plan to get other people to pay for my student loan debt. So I'm not too much worried about that. But yeah, bills are paid, we save up, we're able to take trips because I allocate funds for that too. I'm like, oh, we're going somewhere. Well, this is how much this is how much we need. So that'll go with saving as well.
And now, you know, you kind of hit on something that was kind of important to me. I know it's something that eventually I want to do for when I get married, and you talked about marriage counseling. And I wanted to know from, you know, both of you all, have you all did marriage counseling or was it, okay. Well, I just wanted to know, like, how important was that with you all, like, and if you all are still doing it, how is it important, and, like, how does it incorporate into you all's marriage now?
Especially I think if you're down a certain spiritual path, definitely have somebody that can be your spiritual counselor as well, as y'all are going towards that next step of those vows and that marriage. And just being, and I feel like it's kind of essential, and it's been very intentional in the steps we've taken with the counseling, because we talked about just prayer, we talked about finances, family, and just priorities. So like different aspects of what it's going to take to keep your marriage strong in I think it was 3 areas. It was like I think it was emotion, physical, and then finances. So just keeping it strong in those areas so that you don't one area doesn't strain another area. So that it definitely it keeps that dialogue open as well. We know that an area of growth we have is communication at times, but it's able to help us focus on that area, and then find other areas that'll help us strengthen that area as well. So.
The counseling definitely brings out the communication. I'm one of the people that if something frustrates me or I don't like something you're doing, I'm going to shut down. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'll sit in the same room with you, and I will be silent. And that's just how I've always been. But since counseling and even through meeting him, he always wants to talk about things. So counseling leaves nothing but for you to open up about how you feel or how your week has been, how the month has been, what's been bothering you with him or her. And you need that just because everybody's not open to communicating, and then you have an unbiased opinion because they're not in your house, so they don't know you or him that well as an adult or however it may be.
We're gonna touch on that too. Keeping family members, friends out here, because that changes how we're done. So we're gonna talk about that. But before, what has been your biggest argument in your house? And it may be different. So what has been your biggest argument in the house? And what's your? Because it's not the same. It may not be the same. The biggest disagreement. I don't like arguing. The biggest disagreement